I'm so excited but terrified at the same time. Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about something that is just so amazing and so awesome, and I just love it so much. It is so good. Today I'm going to be talking about IMDb's first original TV show, Alex Rider. Welcome back to La La Land. Let's do this. Alright guys, so first off, I just have to say, this TV show is so amazing and so awesome, and I loved it so much. It is so good. It is so good. I love it so much. It's so good, guys. It's amazing. And I'm so excited to talk to you about it today. So first off, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the trailer, because one of the things that really threw me off about this TV show was the trailer. So I watched the trailer because I was thinking, oh, this might be something sort of interesting, something that might be fun to watch, something I would enjoy. And I watched the trailer, and I think there's like maybe 2 different trailers, and I really just wasn't sure. It looked kind of too cliche, too tropey. I didn't think it was going to be that good. It looked sort of like maybe not like snotty, but like teenagers recruited as a spy, and just like, it looked like there was like super tropey love, and just everything seemed super tropey and cliche and not that good a quality story, and I just felt like I'd seen it 100 times before, so I just sort of wrote it off. I didn't think about it again. I wasn't really that interested in trying to watch it. And then lo and behold, my family was like, you know what, we should check this out. And I was really apprehensive, actually. I was like, I don't know. But we did. And I'm so happy we did. Because when I watched it, my mind was just blown. It was just... because it was so good. It is one of my new favorite TV shows. Keep doing this. I loved it so much, and there were so many things that were done just so incredibly well, and just an incredible job was just done on like every part of this movie. It was such a quality TV show, and it was just so good. It was amazing, guys, and I need to talk to you about it. So this is IMDb's first original, which was like, I was really surprised at. And they did such an amazing job with it too. They were like, they just smashed it out of the ballpark. Smashed it out of the ballpark, darling. Maybe I should start talking with a British accent. I probably shouldn't, because anyone who's British is going to be really insulted because my accent's not that good. I'm watching a TV show about a girl who's reviewing a British TV show who's trying to be British and is epically failing. Bless her heart. So they just did a lot of really good things, and I feel like I should send them a congratulations note. Like, I really do. Like, I feel like I should be like, dearest IMDb, my bad. Congratulations on your first original series. A sincere thank you for not failing us or letting us down completely, and giving us an accurate and entertaining TV show. We know it wouldn't have been possible without hard work, talent, lots of luck, and viewers like you. Oh wait, that's not right. Anyway, so that is just this part. I just want to sing some praises about it, because it was just a really quality TV show. It was extremely entertaining. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the plot and storyline. Obviously, in case I didn't say this beforehand, this is all spoiler free, so never fear, I am here. We're not going to say any spoilers. So the plot is basically about, and I'm not giving anything away because this is all in the trailer, and I will double check the description in case it's not, and I will cut it. Basically, it's about a kid named Alex who's just an ordinary child. No. Okay. This is about a kid, teenager in Britain named Alex. He goes to a school, he lives with his uncle, his parents are dead, and his like not nurse or nanny, but like housekeeper. I don't really know what her job is. Friend, Jack. His best friend is Tom. He goes to this school. He's just a normal teenager. He likes this girl. He has, you know, school. The school is accurate, thank goodness. It's just a normal life where I'm like, yeah, that looks pretty dang normal. Then his uncle dies, and he just knows, he realizes that some of the pieces aren't exactly adding up. So he does a little investigative work of his own, and he finds out that his uncle was part of, what you don't call him CIA over in Europe. I could just say spy, but it's like a foreign office. Oh gosh, what's it called? MI6? Is that what you guys call it? Maybe something like that. And they decide they're going to try to recruit him. Emphasis on try. And so that's basically the description of plot. And I know what you're all saying. I've read this story. I've watched this story hundreds of times. It's exactly the same. Yes, but not yes. So I'm going to talk about the storyline very quickly. So the storyline was not what I expected, because I went in with that same attitude to do that. And we actually, I don't think this is a huge spoiler, we spent less time at the school than I expected. I expected kind of the whole series to be him at the school, and it wasn't the whole series, which I'm glad. And even the school was, like, the time we spent in the school was a lot different than what I expected it to be. And this is sort of, I want to say, like, there's sort of just like 4 separate, like, this story could maybe be like 4, maybe 5 separate different chunks of like the storyline. And each one is super gripping and just really entertaining. There wasn't as much action as I expected, or let's say fighting. There's still some, never fear, but it wasn't as over the top as I expected. There's some mystery, and there's like a couple mysteries sort of intertwined into it, and suspense. I personally didn't think it was super dark. My sister, who I ended up watching this with, she just jumped in halfway through. That's right, she just jumped in halfway through this series. I know what you're all thinking. What? I was a little like that myself, but she was still able to enjoy it, just jumping in on like the 3rd or 4th episode. And so she thought some parts were darker than I thought it was. And just the storyline was very solid. Like I said, there was like 4 different sort of chunks of it. You could break it into 4 parts, and each part was super thrilling. Maybe like 5 actually. Yeah, 5. And each part was super thrilling, super gripping. You were just completely invested, and it was super well done. So the next thing is I want to talk about the characters a little. Obviously I'm not going to go into super big detail since this is spoiler free. The one thing I just wanted to say about the teenagers was that they were real teenagers. Thank you. First of all, they looked like normal teenagers. I don't know what their actual age was, but at least they didn't look like college students, okay? And second of all, nothing felt super stereotyped. Like, a lot of time when you're watching things that happen with teenagers, it's just so stereotyped, where it's just like, this is the nerdy girl, this is the nerdy guy, this is the cool jock, this is the moody emo kid. Like, it's so stereotypical, and sometimes you're able to have those characters and then build on them a little. But the nice thing about this was nothing felt like it was like stereotype, you know, sort of flashing across your screen. Granted, I've seen characters, you know, there's characters out there that love movies and are nerdy. There's people out there who are like that. But the thing is that it didn't feel like I was watching the same character over and over again. It felt real, it felt new, it felt just like a normal person, and I thought that was really well done. Also, just another quick side note, none of these a few of them, but none of these like teenagers were like super moody and emo, which I often feel like there were a couple, because the thing is, yes, teenagers can be like that, absolutely, 100%. But the thing is, I often feel like it's like every single teenager is like this. And it's not. There's diversity, people. Come on. And so I appreciated that they showed a very wide range of how teenagers act and are. And I appreciated that. And just watching the TV show versus watching the trailer, I have to say this just because it's been very rare that I find a TV show or movie that's better than the trailer. We've kind of gone into the age of the trailer being amazing and the movie kind of being a bit of a letdown because the trailer's supposed to sell the movie. And I think this one kind of did the opposite for me. So these characters were not at all what I expected when I watched the trailer. I understand now, partially after watching it and seeing the clips they used. I'm like, I understand now why I thought that. But they were just very different, and they weren't what I expected when I was watching it. And if you guys like the trailer, then, I mean, they're not like completely over the moon different, but it just doesn't sell what the for me personally, I thought the trailer didn't sell how good this was, and it kind of misrepresented a few things a little.
Hey, so this is future me popping in because I just wanted to add something really quick to this. So like I said, I rewatched the trailers and I just went through and I watched like all the trailers they provided, and like I said in the video, I was able to see sort of more of the characters and the information and the story. I still don't think it shows just how good this is, but I was able to see it a lot more. I did, however, find a trailer that I thought was a lot better, represented it a little better, that just kind of hooked you a little more, and I'll leave that in the description. I'll leave both the trailers in the description, but I'll leave the one I think is a little bit better there for sure, that way you guys can see it. Alright, back to past me.
So, the first thing that sets this story a little different is the main character, Alex. I want to talk just a little bit of Alex. A little bit about Alex. I'm not going to I'm not going to just tell you everything about him. One thing I really liked about his character is that he's polite. He's a polite, kind, real teenager. They do exist. We can be nice. We can enjoy our families. We can be kind and polite and sweet, okay? We do exist. I will give like 60% of that credit to the fact that he is British, alright? I'll do it. Fine. He's British. That's 60% of why he's polite. But I just want to say, there are real teenagers out there who are polite and kind. It just depends on how you raise them. So it's on you, not me. No, take that back. I'm taking that back. I didn't mean it. It was just very refreshing because usually when we have these sort of action or spy or just following teenagers, the teenagers usually the misunderstood, moody, sort of no one. And I'm not saying Alex was Mr. Popular, but he wasn't like no one. Like, it was my camera died again. Not died. It just stopped the video. So what I was saying is I felt like this school was a little more accurate, where it wasn't like you're no one or you're the person. You know, he was just, you know, he was a more, I don't want to say he was an unusual protagonist, because we've seen protagonists like this. It's just not often we see them in this sort of movie. And it was just very refreshing, and it was super great. And you know, he was still a real teenager. He snuck out to go to a party. He used his abilities. Again, abilities, there's not anyone who's watching this. He used his talents for a very real thing a teenager would. He went to go save his best friend's phone, which he got taken away, so that he could go to this party, so that he could go see his crush, basically. And that's something I feel like a teenager would really, that would be what would be like important. Like, I really like this person, I want to go try to see them. And then, you know, obviously he's got his like teenager moody spouts where he's like, but for the most part, he was just a really great protagonist, and it was always really fun following his character, because on one hand, he's a teenager. He's completely inexperienced in the spy sort of area. He's just like, you're always on the edge of your seat because you're always worried. However, at some degree, you always just have a level of just sort of like waiting for something to happen, where you always feel sort of like assured, like he's gonna do something, I know it, or something. And it's just like such a satisfying moments come from this character when he just does stuff, because he's a character that you're always invested and worried, but also just super excited to watch. We get a lot of satisfying moments where you're just like, oh yes! And also you can be on the edge of your seat like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. That's literally what my sister was doing like the entire way through this series. So definitely just a great character, a great protagonist. Otto Farron, I'm sure I'm pronouncing your name wrong, did an amazing job with his acting, both as Alex and as being Alex's sort of spy cover. Just an amazing job. Such great acting. But Alex himself does a really good job of playing the spy. He is forced into a situation he doesn't want to be in, which I know, of course, the trope, the reluctant hero, but this is actually more of a realistic one. And he's forced into a situation he doesn't want to be in. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's way out of his league. He's trying to be someone he's not. And not only does he do a really good job of showing that without showing it, but he also does a really good job of acting out all the parts he's supposed to play. And it's very fun to watch. It's very interesting. I could just talk about this so much. Oh my gosh. Another thing about his character is just like, he's smart, where a lot of the time people don't like characters if they're like smart and like action-y sort of, because they like, that's not realistic. Where like, he's smart to a degree. I wouldn't necessarily say he's academically smart, because we don't really get to see that. He's more like street smart sort of, and that sort of ties into what kind of helps him be a good spy. But I honestly think one of the things that makes this character just so much fun to watch and follow is he improvises a lot, because a lot of things don't work out, where you always get the sense where he's doing something and he knows what he's doing, but at the same time just has no idea what is going on around him. And then it's always really fun to watch him figure it out, to sort of know, just to sort of be like, that's what's going on, sort of. And that's another satisfying moment. But that's something that makes this character really interesting and fun to watch. I can't really talk about the other characters. I just simply want to say that, you know, Tom, who was sort of Alex's best friend, sort of geeky, sort of nerdy, he was very much, I really liked Tom. He was great. He was a great real teenager too. Aisha was a great real teenager. Tyra was also just a great addition. Ian and Jack were great characters. It was always really interesting to see what they were doing. And then sort of like the spy people up on top, I really enjoyed that there was actually like some conflict in there, like, we're sending a child to be a spy. Is this ethical? Is this right? You know, a lot of the time you don't see that, where it's just like, oh, your family was a spy, or oh, you have these amazing talents, we're gonna recruit you. And they're like, okay, I'm gonna be super dangerous when I'm 15. That sounds fine. Absolutely. I really enjoyed that there was actually some people questioning like the sanity of doing this. Like, you're sending a 15-year-old to be an operative on his first mission to this extremely dangerous place. It's like, what? You know? So I really enjoyed that there was some discussion, and it just brought a whole nother real sort of wave to this very sort of typical story, but it made it just more real and different. Speaking of real, the school that Alex and Tom attend seemed so much more realistic. There's not a lot of time for people just to like catch some great plot while you're walking to your locker, and that seemed much more evident, where the only times people were talking at school was when they had like a 3-minute walk where they went from one class to the other class, or they had a lunch break. Like, that was it. And I was so happy about it. Like, I shouldn't have been this happy, but I was so happy about that. Other things that were real, like I said, the characters were real. They felt like actual human beings I was watching. Beans I was watching. And just every single one of them was real, was grounded, was just there. Another thing that was very real was the emotions, and I give so much credit to the actors in this, because obviously whether it's sadness or fear or confusion or just shock, I can't really talk about the moments in which these emotions are happening, but each one is just so perfectly, their face just conveys it so much in their body language, and you can just see just every little emotion or every little twitch or something of a character. It just makes these people complete. It was just so good and so real. Sets and sound. Sets were absolutely phenomenal. Just amazing. The sound design, so perfect. The locations, I don't know if certain areas were just simply like green screen or blue screen or just made, but I feel like a few of these may have been locational, and I will check. If not, I'll put like a giant X on location up here. And lighting, just like all of that was top notch, so amazing. You could actually, I'm touching my glasses too much, I'm sorry, I'm a fidgety person. You could actually at times feel like at one point there's like, you could feel the weather, like when it was cold, when we were in certain locations, just the entire color would just sort of be slightly drained from the screen, giving it just sort of this greenish grayish sort of tinge, making you feel sick but also like cold. And it was so perfect. It was so amazing. When we were around snow, yes, we are around snow, I'm sorry if that's a spoiler. So often, after watching like 200,000 Hallmark movies, I have become like an expert at seeing like real snow and fake snow. And just whether or not this was real or fake snow, it felt real, which is the important part, is you really want it to feel real. And I could definitely feel real. Whether or not like his breath fogged up at all, I really can't remember. I wasn't really paying attention, but it felt super real. Another thing I want to talk about is the music, which first of all, I already gave sound was amazing. The background music to everything was so great. It was able to just sort of help you, guide you through a scene, is what music is supposed to help guide you through a scene, sort of show you the emotions and sort of guide your own emotions. It can get you pumped up or feel really sad, and the music in this was amazing. However, I want to touch on the songs they used. There were 2 specific songs. One of them was like episode 8, episode 7. It's right in the intro, and just the song was like such, just like, it seems really out of place, but at the same time it seems so perfect. And that's gonna go into the intro. When we first started watching this TV show, I was kind of taken aback by the intro. I was like, this doesn't seem like some sort of spy TV show intro. Like, I was expecting some sort of like Mission Impossible sort of theme, but I wasn't sure if it fit, and it just seemed sort of out of place and weird. Do I feel that same way now? All world ahead, the old world behind. All world ahead, the old world behind. No, I do not. I think this is such a perfect fit and representation of this series. Not only is the just visuals so entertaining and just beautiful, And in that way, it sort of has a Mission Impossible theme where it shows you things that are going to happen without entirely giving it away. And just the music and the tone and the way it's all edited, it's such a perfect representation of what this series is. And I love it so much. It's so amazing. It's one of like my favorite TV show intros now. Like I said in the beginning, I really thought this storyline and these characters were going to be different, and I was constantly worried that it was going to go south, and it never did. When I watched the first episode, I was so surprised. I'm like, this is so good. And I remember just being like, oh my gosh, I was wrong. This is great. And I kept expecting things to go south, like, oh, now it's not going to get as good. Now it's not going to be as good. And it never did that. It was always surprising me. It was always showing me that I was wrong and that IMDb could do this. IMDb had it. It was there. We doubted you. I am sorry. I doubted you. Never again. I trust you. You did an amazing job. And it showed it just did such a good job, guys. It was so good. And one thing I do want to say is I said that I really was expecting this TV show to just be super cliched, super tropey. And in some cases it was. But the thing is, it took the tropes and cliches that we all know so well, and they did them super well, where we were able to enjoy them again, where they felt fresh and they felt new, even though it was something we'd seen before. And even tropes that I personally don't enjoy, and I was so worried. I was like, please don't do it, please don't do it. And then they would do it. And then they do a really great job with it, where they were able to execute it well. And I think you can use any trope and do it well. The thing is just people don't do it. But IMDb was able to do it. And they did it so well. And there's playing at what we love and just things. The reason why tropes exist is because we love something and it just happens over and over and over and over because people know we like it. Where instead they took this thing we love and they made it new and they made it feel fresh. You were able just to enjoy it so much more because of that. This TV show was so good and so well done. I can't remember the exact, I think it's PG-13. I think that's what it's rated. I'll put it up here what the exact rating on this is. But it's an action, adventure, mystery, thriller maybe. And it was so amazing, and yet it wasn't rated R, it wasn't super inappropriate. Yeah, there was some swearing, but even that wasn't as bad as half the things out there. And I'm just so happy. It just proved that you don't need those things in a movie to have it be good, to have it be quality. This TV show had more quality in it than so many other things out there, and it was just a really good quality TV show. And just IMDb should be so proud of itself. It really, really should. You guys should go watch it because it's amazing and you will love it. Before you do, I just simply wanted to touch on the fact that this is based off of a book series that I have not read. Also, there is a movie that was made that I have not watched. So I went into this completely blind. I have not watched the movie. I don't think I will. I don't know if it's that good. This TV show is based off of the second book. It's an origin story, but it follows the second book. And they are making a season 2, thank goodness. And that's going to be following the fourth book. So I think I'm going to read the first 3, but I really enjoyed going into this knowing absolutely nothing, having nothing to compare it against, which is not something I do a lot. I didn't even know it was a book series. I usually try to read a book before the movie, but I really just enjoyed having absolutely nothing to compare it against. So I don't think I'm going to read the fourth book, but I'm definitely going to read the first 3. But you guys should really go watch this. For this, I was trying to find I'm not sure if I should do star ratings anymore. I really don't know. I think for movies it's a lot harder to do 5, where I'd say this is like an 8 out of 10 for me maybe. Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 88%. On IMDb it's got a 7.5 out of 10. And just as a audience rating summary, it's got a 4.7 out of 5, which is really, really amazing. If you guys want a spoiler review of this series, comment below and tell me, because part of me really wants to go into detail and talk about how this was so amazing and how they did so many things right with so many different characters and with relationships. That's something I didn't talk about a lot. The relationships were super good, so great. If you guys want a spoiler-free review, tell me down below. But in the meantime, just go watch this. You can watch it on Prime because IMDb buddied with Prime, so you can watch it on Amazon Prime or on IMDb, since it's an IMDb original. But it's just so amazing and mind-blowing, and I love it so much. Please go watch it. It's so fantastic. Go enjoy it. It's just so good. It's so amazing. Please go watch it. Go do that. Thank you for watching. Comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about this TV show, if you have watched it. Because I personally thought it was amazing. Tell me if you guys have read the books. Tell me what other TV shows you want me to review. Give me a like, subscribe, ring the bell. That all helps me out a ton. And just have a great day, guys. I'll see you next time in La La Land. Bye. Let's do this. Shut my eyes west, chase the sunset. You can want on my breath, and you got your hand on my hand.